I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, October the 3rd, brought to you in part by Strauss workwear. Now, it's not quite cold enough down here in the Texas Panhandle yet to be wearing this vest, but I wore it to show you guys. This is going to be one of my favorite vests this fall and winter. It's from Strauss. It's got the iconic, there it is over here, iconic ostrich logo, and that is cool. That the name ostrich in German is Strauss, so that's where that comes from. That is a family name. They've been in business since 1948. It's a third generation company there, but they have got some really cool stuff. On Thursday I was able to look at everything that they had. They've got work pants that are literally as strong as steel. You cannot rip them. And if you're having trouble with your pants, your work pants blowing out on you, get some that are rigged up for you. They've got some cargo work pants that's got pockets all over them. If you're going to be calving this spring or winter, get in there and get some pants that can hold what all you need. They're like double and triple on the knees, triple on the seams. Just absolutely can't tear them up. They've got work shoes there, but they've also got a lot of you guys I notice have started wearing like hey dudes when you're out just working on a regular basis because the boots are hurting your feet or what all. They've got walking shoes that are comfortable but still have steel toes. And I know you guys have been looking for something like that, especially if you're working around heavy equipment and things like that. You don't want the heavy boots. You can get walking shoes like these and still protect your toes. For more information, go to Strauss.com. Also, Unionville Livestock Market in north central Missouri and Creston Livestock Market in south central Iowa. Unionville has a special calf and yearling sale coming up on Tuesday, October the 7th at 10:30 in the morning, and they will have a special calf and yearling sale every Tuesday in October. It's calf run time, guys. Now Creston, they just had their big special all vaccinated calf and yearling sale this past Wednesday. You remember me talking about them. Their big featured consignment was Justin Peterson. He sold 12 loads of heifers on Wednesday, weighed 833 pounds on the average of the load, with an average price on the load of $327.10. All those heifers bring $2,725 per head. Wow. Creston's got a regular sale every Friday in October. Some of those will have some pretty sizable calf runs in those. You got to check with them there. And then they're having a big special all vaccinated calf and yearling sale on Wednesday, November the 5th. So you can check out those sales, view and bid those sales at DVAuction.com. What shutdown? I haven't noticed any shutdown. Supposedly the government was shut down on Thursday. I'm talking with several people that I know, and they said, hey, it didn't bother me a bit. Didn't me either. You know, even Market News was running, so evidently they've deemed some of that product, that information essential. So we're getting most of that. The only thing that I noticed that we didn't get was the actual slaughter information, which is 2 weeks old anyway. But that's information from NAS. I guess if it was cattle on feed time, we wouldn't be getting one of those. But we don't have to worry about that for a while. But your LRPs were back up and running again. So you know, the shutdown really hasn't hurt us at all short term, and if they're saving some money, I say we go for a few more days of it, but it won't last very long. I remember the government shutdowns. You know, all these people that say they're not getting paid, they know as soon as shutdown stops, they're going to go back and get paid. It's always happened that way. So don't worry about those people. I mean, there's probably some government programs. Maybe the check won't be sent or what have you. But you know, all those things are going to catch back up whenever they do get over their little scuffle. The only thing that they want during these shutdowns is some level of chaos. So you appreciate the government and the things they're doing. You know, you won't be able to go to the state parks and things like that. They want some level of chaos in there somewhere, just to make a difference. But we'll see what happens going forward from that. Boy, the fat cattle have suddenly gotten really backed up in the north. Of course, we've been fighting that for 2 or 3 weeks now, but hearing reports of some cattle that are getting massive up there. Some cattle, and then they are getting them moved, and then they get them, and some of them are just too big to go in some of the plants there. So that makes big problems there. Didn't realize we was getting in that big a problem, and I'm not saying it's you know, a wide swath through there. Just hearing some reports of extremely heavy cattle being sold and needing to get moved there. Your beef, it continues to go lower, just in big hunks. It was down 5 1/4 on Thursday. I just, you know, on the choice, it's just unbelievable how that has absolutely fallen out of bed. And I don't understand why your packers can't prop that up a little bit. I mean, it's not a negotiated trade. It's not an auction. Yeah, they just put basically a menu out there for your wholesale buyers, and they buy what they want off of it. And evidently they just keep dropping the price, trying to move product, and maybe they might have to change it up a little bit. You know, maybe stop offering it up at lower prices all the time. Do something to get the pump primed to kind of get the deal going. It's going to be in October, mid-October, that we usually see a rally on that beef as people are getting ready for holiday buying. So, you know, get that started. But that lower beef every day is pretty good advertisement for your packers to try to get things, you know, going in a depression mode or in a bearish type feel. But your feeder cattle futures were down hard on Thursday. I mean, real hard, $4 and $5 there. But your sale barns were selling pretty well, and so we saw actually your real-time index prop up just a little bit. So had some really good sales on Thursday. I'm going to tell you about those towards the end of the report, like I always do. But it just kind of depended on what the offering was and who was there to buy them, just like it always does. But you know, fancy calves, whether they're weaned or not, they're selling well. Any kind of grass yearlings are selling well, and cows and bulls selling well because we're so short of them. But I want to tell you about a sale that's coming up on Saturday. It's at Mocan Livestock Market in Butler, Missouri. It's right on the highway there. At 1:00 p.m. They're having a big stock cow sale there, a special cow sale. 1,000 head of bred heifers, bred cows, and cow-calf pairs. I mean, the quality, you'll be impressed. They've got 100 head of fancy home-raised replacement heifers from the Phillips family. Got 60 black and black baldy heifers coming from BK Cattle Company. 135 3 to 6 year old 3-in-1 packages. Pairs that are bred there, and that's a Smith dispersal, so you know you're getting all of them there. I believe those are balancers. You got a consignment of half Angus, half Charolais pairs with big 500-pound calves at their side coming off the Pearson Ranch. 42 fancy Sim Angus heifer pairs coming from the Parkers. They've got genetics on the bull side coming from Sim Angus, from Red Angus, Balancers, Charolais, Angus, including Express Ranches and the Miller Ranches there. I tell you what, it'll be one to go to, one to see. If you can't make it there, no problem. Get on to DVAuction.com. Call them at the sale barn early ahead of time and make sure you're approved, just in case you want to buy something. You never know. but they'll have a good auction there. They'll offer them up honestly there, and be a sale that'll be impressive, guys. That's what I'll talk about your board that happened on Thursday. October live cattle futures down 57 cents at 230.52. December was down 102 at 233.47. Your back months on live cattle down 82 cents to down 155. October feeder cattle down hard, like I mentioned earlier, down 467 on October feeders at 354.30. That's well underneath your index levels. And we're in that spot month, so it's going to have to meet up towards the end of the month. It can't be going way off there too far. November feeder cattle down 520 at 352.40. Your back months on feeder cattle futures down 292 to down 485. Your grains, look at December new crop corn up 5 1/4 cents a bushel at 421 3/4. November beans, that's new crop, up 10 3/4 at 1023 3/4. And your hard red winter wheat for December up 3 1/2 cents a bushel at 499. Your fat cattle trade did develop some more in the northern plains, and then we heard rumors and stuff. We didn't get that much confirmed, but I'll tell you what I know. Iowa sold about 2,450 cattle on Thursday, confirmed 9,500 for the week so far. The live price in Iowa ranged from $228 to $230. That's mostly $2 to $5 lower than last week. I mean, we're giving it back in hunks, guys. Your dress price range in Iowa was $358 to $360, and there's getting to be quite a few of them at $358. Nebraska sold 1,600 there. They've sold 13,000 for the week already. Live price in Nebraska on Thursday was $230. Dress price at $360. Kansas and Texas didn't have anything confirmed. I did hear from private sources late in the day on Thursday that Kansas had traded some cattle at $233. We'd seen a little bit at $233 earlier in the week, but that $233 live would be $4 lower than last week in the Southern Plains. Kelowna Sales Barn in Kelowna, Iowa, sold fat cattle there at their auction on Thursday. 481 head with the receipts. Conventional fed cattle, steers and heifers, selling in Kelowna, Iowa at $230 to $237. That's a DVAuction broadcaster year. You can watch them every week if you'd be interested in that, guys. Box beef cutout values, I mentioned how much they were lower. Choice cuts down $5.25 on Thursday afternoon at $363.22. Selects down $3.49 at $343.40. Your slaughter through the first 4 days of the week, 461,000 head estimated cattle slaughter. That's 5,000 less than this point last week, 30,000 less than this point a year ago. And like I mentioned, can't get your actual slaughter information because that comes from National Ag Statistics, and I guess they're sitting at home here during this shutdown. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services, of course that's Dakota Moss and all these agents that work right along with him, and all of them are well versed in the cattle business and in the LRP business, guys. They are your LRP specialists. And I contacted Dakota a couple times this week wondering about the shutdown, how it was going to do. Now, leading up to the shutdown, he was talking to him there in Washington, D.C., and then I can't imagine there'd be very many bigger players in the LRP business than Dakota Moss and Livestock Risk Services, so they would be conversing with him with what was going on. But he got no guidance leading up to the shutdown. They weren't giving him any idea. They want some level of chaos in there, guys. That's what this is all about. So leading up to the shutdown, he got no guidance. Then he texted me on Thursday morning. He said, we're up and running. I can write my LRPs. So he did business, and I said, well, how'd they do that with no funding? He said, they had thought ahead there and set up enough funding just in the event that that was going to happen, to get that to run. Now, I'm not sure you're going to get your kick in on your part of the payment from the government on your LRP premium, but they are able to get up and write the policies and get that done, and they'll catch the other back up when the shutdown ends. But for more information on them, go to livestockriskservices.com. I want to talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood right there in Carthage, Missouri on I-44. Your real-time index from DVAuction at the conclusion of Thursday's sales, based on an 800-pound cash auction steer, sitting at 360.62. That was up $1.18 from the end of the trade on Wednesday. Your steer tracker, which is the last 25 lots that went into the real-time index of at least 5 head, was up there at 377.10. So they were getting some big quotes there on Thursday, but that's a 7-day moving average. Pulled it up $1.18. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index was 361.03. Join me on Saturday. I'm going to be at the historic Chain Ranch in Canton, Oklahoma, guys. They've got the Red Dirt Roundup coming up. They're selling like 800 head. It's going to be Saturday the 4th at 1 p.m. Hope to see you there. If not, get on to DVAuction.com and you can watch that sale, view and bid that sale. I'll be the one there taking your bids. Talk about your big feeder cattle auctions on Thursday. Winter Livestock in Pratt, Kansas had 2,600 head. The market reporters in Kansas are so poor, you can't really make heads or tails out of what they're trying to say there. But basically what they said, they had instances of sharply higher. I don't know what the norm was, but instances of sharply higher, but a pretty dang good sale for the way things kind of felt there later this week. But they did have an impressive quote that shocked me out of Pratt there. It was 87 steers, weighed 790 pounds, bring 381.50. And that would be one of those sharply higher instances there. How about Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas? 2,500 head for them. About the only well-tested group in there was feeder steers, and they sold $5 to $10 higher. And I'm going to give you a stick-out sale there in Salina, and I don't doubt it looking at this quote. 116 steers weighed 907 in Salina, Kansas, bring 360. Impressive there. Really impressive market in Valentine, Nebraska. Valentine Livestock Market there, they had 3,300 on hand. No recent comparison to really get a good comparison on prices there, but you remember they are the ones that posted those $4 8-weight feeders there. It's probably been a month or more now, but it may not have been as active as some of those sales, but still pretty good sale. It was your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Livestock Equipment, stick-out sale of the day. You look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central, and you see your best tested weights there. Let's go down through them. They had 269 head of 6-weight steers in Valentine, averaged 656 with a weighted average price of $412.17. There were 487 head of the 7-weight steers. They averaged 743 at $389.56. 400 head of 8-weight feeder steers averaged 845 at $362.09, and 377 head of 9-weight steers in Valentine, Nebraska averaged 945 pounds with a weighted average price of $348.94. The heifers, 241 head of 6-weight heifers averaged 637 at $383.87. 601 head of the 7-weight heifers averaged 743 pounds at $360.54. There were 323 head of 8-weight feeder heifers that averaged 847, weighted average price $338.23, and 280 head of the 9-weight heifers averaged 946 at $320. Good sale there in Valentine, Nebraska. Give you some individual sales. How about Stockman's Livestock Exchange in Dickinson, North Dakota? They sold 60 steers, weighed 751 at $397.50. How about way out west there at Orland Livestock Commission Yard in Orland, California? They sold 50 steers, weighed 590 pounds at $455. Wow. How about the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday? Your Macrison, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Belfouche Livestock Market in Belfouche, South Dakota. It was 63 steers, weighed 853 at $376.50, just like nothing ever happened. That's your feeder flash for Friday.